Hello, welcome to our first Wednesday devotional of the new year, 2023. And some thought they wouldn't make it through last year. On Sunday, I shared with those who were there and those who looked online the idea that Paul gave us some instructions as to facing a new year. He told us to forget those things that were behind and concentrate on the things we're doing and then look forward to the prize that is set ahead of us. What a joy it is to know that God's in charge. What a joy it is to know that we can trust Him in all that we do. What a joy it is to know that He has a plan for us for this year. But I want to challenge you with this thought. I've said often that I believe attitude is a choice. Attitude is a choice. We can choose to be joyful. We can choose to be cheerful. And some people say, wait a minute. You don't know what I'm going through. It's a hard time. I realize that. And I don't know what each person is going through. But I also realize that we can make choices. Our attitude is a choice. Let me give you just a thought about the attitude of Jesus Christ. It's found in Philippians chapter 2. 3 things about his attitude that I believe were choices. He was here with the purpose of dying. He was here with the purpose of redeeming us, but he had to die. As a human being, can you imagine that wasn't on his mind all the time? Often it was on his mind. The horrible death, every time he would hear of someone punished, perhaps on a cross, it would be on his mind. But here was his attitude, as Paul told us in Philippians chapter 2. First thing is this, he was selfless. Listen to this. In Philippians chapter 2, verse 3, speaking of Christ, he says, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man on the things of others. He was selfless. Jesus Christ was not thinking of himself. He was thinking of others. Let our mindset be on others. When we're doing our own things that seem so important, if we're thinking of others, we may interrupt our things that we're doing. We may have to stop what we're doing to do something that will help others. We should be selfless. That's just the opposite of selfish. That's not easy. That's not natural. But that's an attitude we should have. I don't think that attitude comes naturally. Attitude is a choice. A second attitude that's mentioned in Philippians chapter 2 about Jesus, he was secure. Look in verses 6 and 7 if you're following, or listen. Who, being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. Jesus Christ knew who he was. He was God in the flesh. As a man, he knew who he was. He was the son of Mary, and he had been reared by Joseph. He knew who he was. But he was secure in who he was. He wasn't trying to pretend to be somebody else. He took upon himself the form of a servant without any misgivings. He didn't feel like he had to look like or pretend that he was important. He was secure. We need to be secure in our relationship with Jesus Christ. We're children of the King. We can look around and see those that have more than we have, those that seem to accomplish more than we do, those that seem to be more popular than we are, but yet we are children of the King. We have a heavenly home waiting. We have a prize awaiting us at the judgment seat of Christ. We can be secure in who we are in Jesus Christ. A third attitude that I think represents Jesus Christ, and it's an attitude that we should have, that is this. He was submissive. Verse 8 says this, being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Humility. One of the hardest things to define, one of the hardest things to find in people. And just when we think we've arrived and we are humble, probably we're becoming proud of our humility. Humility. It's not thinking less of ourselves. It's not thinking of ourselves. Jesus was submissive. Even though he had all power, he was submissive. He was submissive to those that would take his life. He was submissive to those that arrested him. He was submissive. I wonder, in this day when we think mostly of ourselves, how many of us truly are willing to be submissive to authority? He was submissive. I'm saying attitudes of choice. We can have these attitudes of selflessness, security, and submission and be like Christ, or not. If you're going to have a great year, have the right attitude. Attitude is a choice. God bless you. Let's give all for thee in 23. God bless you.